Hey guys, so this is going to be an in the shop video this week. I don't know how many of you guys caught my last trip to the Ozarks, but you can definitely tell that after the big lift, the 4-inch lift and the 39s, that I've got some pretty significant height difference between this hitch and the actual Kong trailer. Now, because it's something that goes with me everywhere, I have to get this corrected. And I don't really like the traditional hitches or drop hitches that are on the market. And there's a couple reasons for it. And the biggest reason, there's so much play and slop in them. We even paid for the best ones, and I just don't like hitting the brakes and feeling it clunk and hitting the gas and feeling it clunk. So I got with a friend of mine and we were kicking back ideas and stuff, and we came up with a new idea. And I'm gonna be able to keep my location here, and I'm not gonna have to manipulate this at all. But I got this, which is 2-inch solid bar. I couldn't find it in Amarillo anywhere. So I'm gonna start with this as my stock. And I got a second receiver. So can you guys imagine what I'm gonna do? Get those wheels thinking. So even if you can't find exactly what you're looking for in your area, like that, I needed 2-inch by 2-inch solid bar. And they call it solid bar stock, but I couldn't find it. And so I saw that on the shelf, and is it what I need? No, but I'm for sure gonna be able to use it. It's still solid bar, I'm just gonna need to remove those. So my thought was, how can I still use the lock and roll hitch, not have to manipulate the bumper at all, and not have to use one of those sloppy drop hitches? Well, stick around. I think I've got a plan. So it took a couple of pieces of tools to get this cut. My sawzall ended up breaking in the middle of it. It's funny because I've had that thing for probably 8 years. I've just never seen one break like that in half. And the cutoff wheel just wasn't doing it. So it was a combination of tools, but this is 2-inch solid stock bar. So it's pretty hard. But what I want you guys to remember is when you guys are first starting to fabricate, you need to make sure, I spent so much time cleaning this because the surface needs to be really, really clean when you go to weld to it. So make sure that you clean all that old powder coat off, because again, it'll contaminate the weld and you'll have an issue. Moving forward now, I'm going to figure out how much length I need from here to here, and I'll show you why. So maybe now you guys can get a better understanding of what I'm talking about and what I'm wanting to build. So this original stud is going to take place of the hitch originally. So it'll go back in and lock in. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a piece. I'm going to form this into one piece. And I think I'm going to do it by probably 1 or 2-inch by 1/2-inch bar. And I'm going to join these guys together. And then what I'll be able to do from then is the original hitch, I'll be able to slip it in here and use it. Therefore, this will be my drop. That way I don't always have to have a drop if I don't want, because eventually I'm gonna put the tires on that trailer right now, to digress. The tires on the trailer right now are 31s. I'm eventually gonna get it up just a little higher. And the reason being is because It's got plenty of ground clearance, stuff like that. But where I do see where we kind of have a little issue is when we're either steep departures or places where the truck and trailer get into a situation like this. And so the best way to explain that is, you know, generally the truck is climbing and so therefore it's up. Well, the trailer being so low, it drives that nose a little farther down. So what I want to do is I want to be able to get the tires in that trailer just a little bit bigger to increase the distance between here and the ground where these two parts are. So this is kind of a parlay into that, but that's also something I'm going to do later on during these fabrication videos. Is I'm going to show you guys, even though it's got Tenbrin suspension, I know this sounds crazy, but I'm going to add a shock to each side. So I'm going to build some shock tower plates that'll go on the outside of the trailer, and I'll be able to assist that Tenbrin, which runs really well now, but I think there needs to be a little bit more dampening control. And the reason why I say that is because right now, the way it floats and has the rubber, there's no type of dampening in that. Well, a natural shock does. So if I add a shock, instead of it just slamming and dropping and slamming, dropping and slamming, because we do tend to take some of the trails a little faster, the shocks will help that. So this is all kind of parlaying into that job and why. And so this will help us kind of take care of some problems at the same time, and that way I don't have to manipulate this, and then when I do get the Jeep up a little higher, at that point in time I don't have to have this. So and if I do, it's still at an intermediate height. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now. What is the ideal height? And I think this is it right here. I really do. So that's what I'm going to go with. Let's work on measuring it and boxing it in. I do have to say, guys, you saw that I was showing the stick welder. Unfortunately, I haven't stick welded in probably, I don't know, several years, probably 4 to 5 years. The MIG was out of argon, so it was really my only option. I had to build this today due to the fact that I had to get it to the scales. I had been waiting on a time that I could take the Jeep and the trailer fully kitted with everything in them and go weigh them, just to have an understanding of what we're doing with payload and capabilities. So you see my frustration with the stick welder, and it took a little bit to get going. But again, remember, these are all skills that we all have to use and practice, and if we don't, this is what happens. I've been so blessed to use the MIG for so long that it was kind of taking me back a little bit to stick welding. I originally learned how to stick weld. My father stick welded for 65 years and never used a MIG. So everything on the farm and the ranch that's how they were built. So it was kind of neat to step back and see what it was like again. I will say this: being spoiled with the MIG is something you can't imagine until you've done one for a while and then stepped up to the MIG. Things definitely get easier with technology. Anyway, enjoy.
So this is what I come up with, and I think it's going to work really, really well. Now you can kind of understand what I was going with, and so now with that done like that, I should be able to take the rock and roll and slide it in there. So let me get some chemical on this real quick so I can get a paint color on it, and then we can keep moving forward. Okay guys, here it is. This is what I came up with. So again, that's 2-inch stock up top. This is 2x2 bar. This is 1/2 inch by 2-inch, we'll call it plate. And then these are 2 gussets that are 1/4 inch strap. And then of course that's a standard receiver. So you can kind of see what it's doing. I think that that'll be more than sufficient to handle the load of this guy. And it's plated. I didn't plate the front because of water, but the back is plated for sure. So it's 3 points of contact with all 1/4. And then of course this 1/2 inch plate. So I think it's gonna do what I want it to do. And from here to here, I think our drop is gonna be perfect. Sorry about that. From here, center here, to the center here, our drop is gonna be perfect. I think it'll take the ass height out of the back of the trailer, and everything will run more smoothly now. But anyway, like I said, this was something new, and I wanted to do something different for a drop hitch, and I think this accomplished it. I really do. So I think this is a great angle for you guys. You can kind of see the disparity now and why I needed that drop hitch. So let's get it hooked up and see what it looks like. It's definitely a much more acceptable angle. God, that looks so much better. Let's see how she tows.
Hey guys, thanks for watching again, and I hope you enjoyed this. It's just another one of the little fabrication videos I'm gonna try to add to the channel as we move forward. Anyway, thanks again. Remember to like,